Highline Wigs. Sometimes I can't even believe that I'm here. I'm such a naturally shy person, but Highline has changed my life. And so they've given me the confidence to share with you my experience because I know how difficult and lonely the journey of hair loss can be. And I just hope that I can make a change. Today, I want to talk all about this piece here. It is a 1-year-old Lexi 3/4 root, and I want to show you how she's held up by comparing her to a brand new piece and just talking about how I care for her, how I treat her, and like all the things about this piece in the last year. But a little backstory, I started wearing Highline wigs in April of 2020. So it was in the middle of the lockdown. I had been stalking Sharon's page since the end of 2019. I don't even know how I found her on Instagram, but when I found her, I was like floored. I couldn't believe how beautiful the pieces looked online. I didn't even know, I think at that point, what a topper was or that human hair wigs or toppers were a thing. Like I knew you could buy extensions. I didn't know you could get this one that clips on the top of your head like this. And so when I found Sharon's page, I was like, this is crazy. Like this could change my life. And it quite literally did. In one purchase, I changed so much about my life. No more crying in the morning, no more trying to like get little fibers in exactly the right spot. It was incredible what it did for me. And it doesn't mean it works for everyone, but for me, toppers were an absolute game changer. So that first piece, I remember thinking, if I can just get 1 year, like if I can get 1 year out of this Highline, then I can justify maybe buying another one the next year. At the time, I thought it was a huge amount of money to spend, especially for someone who basically didn't spend money on hair at all, like going to the salon or anything. So it was a big adjustment. And then I got the piece in and I wore her and I wore her and I wore her. And I realized 1 year is not even close to how much time you'll get out of this. You will get 2 or 3 years out of them if they're well cared for. And so that really sold me on Highline because I realized, one, for a luxury brand, it's totally, I won't say totally affordable, but it is a more affordable brand of the luxury brands. But two, the quality is there, like it's long lasting. So the first piece was a 7x8, and I realized as I moved on in piece to piece that I really like a larger base. I've talked about that in other videos, and I can do another one about cap sizes specifically, but for me, I like the way they fit and mold to my head better. So this one is an 8.5 by 8.5, and my most recent purchase is a 9x9. But honestly, if I could find a 9.5 by 9.5 or a 10x10 from Sharon, I would probably purchase that just because I like the way that they cover. I like the comfort. I don't have a lot of bio hair, so it's nice for it to just be under there and not have to worry about it so much. But in any case, let's talk about this particular one. So it's an 8.5 by 8.5 cap. And I purchased her, I believe it was December or January of 2022, but I do know that I started wearing her at the end of January 2022. And I know that because I'm a teacher, I teach high school, and I didn't want to make like a drastic change in my topper mid-semester because kids would totally notice, and I was not out. I'm still not really out about my pieces. Today was the first day actually that I wore a different piece from yesterday. So yesterday I was wearing a uni wigs piece, and today I wore my Highline and kids didn't even notice. So there you go. But I started wearing this piece at the beginning of semester 2, which was right at the end of January, beginning of February. It was like the exam week I started wearing it. And I wore her every day through June. In the summer, a little bit less because I don't wear hair when I'm at home and we were off in the summer. And then again, full time from September all the way through to January of 2023. So this is almost everyday wear for about 10 months. And I mean, every day, 5 days a week. And then also when I was going out on the weekends. So not bad. If I am honest, I looked at this piece pretty closely. Last night I gave her a bit of a loose curl. And I was commenting on this with my husband that, there are very few split ends. There's very little obvious wear and tear on this piece, given that she has had so much everyday wear. And I think that speaks to the quality of the hair itself and also the cap construction. I haven't really lost any hair. This thing does not shed. And, I brush her all the time. I'm not rough on her, but I'm not exactly gentle on her either. The only thing that will need to be touched up probably, and it's not a probably, it's a definitely, is that she needs a color touch up. So that's what I wanted to show you. And if you're curious about how to maintain that color, I have a whole other video about keeping your hair turning brassy. So you can take a look at that. I also have a carousel on Instagram that addresses that, and I will have a blog post up soon about that as well. But you can see maybe in this video, I don't know if you can or not, that there's probably a slight color difference right now at the root. So this one is starting to turn brassy. I know that she is in certain lights, and this one is going to be an ashier color. And I have a big ring light in my face right now, so I can't see exactly what you can see. I don't know if you see a difference or not, but I'm suspecting that this one is a little bit ashier and this one is a little bit brassier after everyday wear. That said, I barely wash her. Sounds gross. I have a whole other thing, tips and tricks on how to avoid washing your topper so that you reduce the wear and tear on the actual hairs and so that the color stays more vibrant. So yeah, there's not a whole lot to say because she looks great. So if I'm talking about the pros, I mean, she looks great after a year. She just needs a bit of a dye job, which is absolutely natural for human hair. That would be the case with bio hair as well. Just exposure to the sun, exposure to the elements, to brushing. All of these things are going to strip the color over time. So a little refresh, and I know I will get another year out of her, no question. Now, if you're new to Highline wigs, if you're new to toppers, you might be wondering, how is this even working right now on your head? So it gets clipped in. So what I'm going to do is show you this newer one, and you can see exactly what's going on the inside here. So there's this silk top, and that's what gives this illusion of the scalp that you see here. Now, if you want to make it look more natural, you might want to create more of a zigzag kind of part because it looks pretty precise, but you can see how that looks really, truly like real scalp. And that's this silk portion here. So you can part your hair anywhere in this probably about 4-inch space. And then the rest is wefts. So those are machine sewn pieces, strips really, of hair. I can kind of show you there how they're sewn in sections. And then they clip into your head. There's a comb you may use, may not use. You can use a wig grip instead if you prefer. But yeah, that's what the hair topper looks like on the inside. It just sits on top of your head. I have other videos where I show this as well. And then you clip it in all the way around and you get nice, nice thick volume. So yeah, at the end of the 1 year mark, all I have to say is that this piece is still looking good. She's still looking relatively intact. You know, there is some wear to the fibers, not the fibers, some wear to the actual hair itself. And that's going to, the severity of that damage is going to depend on how rough you are on it. So do you have hard water? Do you have chlorinated water? Do you brush it a lot? Do you heat style it a lot? Do you use harsh chemicals on it? Like all of those things are going to cause the hair to wear down. But because I'm pretty gentle on mine, I do brush it regularly to make sure that there are no tangles. I use paraben and sulfate-free shampoo, and I limit the amount of time that times that I wash and heat style this piece. Because of that, she's lasted, and I have to say, she's still gorgeous. If you have any questions or want to know anything about Highline toppers, about this particular piece, the Lexie 3/4 root, feel free to drop them in the comments below because I'm happy to talk all things Highline. I could talk about Highline all the day long. And if you want to get a piece like this yourself, Sharon often stocks Lexie 4 roots on her website. You can also reach out to Raquel, who is like one of her personal shoppers almost. Raquel works with Sharon, and she can also, for a fee, find you exactly what you're looking for and even arrange to have it custom colored for you. So yeah, Highline wigs, definitely worth the investment. 1 year in, needs a recoloring, but I'll always be back for more.